anybody get suspended for using rebates in the past? Or do you think this, like, will they be retroactive and say, hey, you used rebates in the past, we're going to ban you all and Amazon's going to do a giant account sweep? Or do you think we're going to ban you if you use them after this day?
I'm going to say moving forward. I think that if they were going to ban people, they would have done it. It seems odd to send out a warning and then make it retroactive.
Unless they argue that we always told you that you can't manipulate our search results and
Right.
you knew what you were doing.
Yes. So it is possible that, like, people who were on the extreme, maybe they chop off the fringes to, like, get rid of the really bad actors.
Yeah.
To make an example. I don't know. I personally think the fair and equitable way to handle it is to do it moving forward.
Yeah.
I think they've made it clear now. Amazon's usually clear as mud when it comes to stuff, explaining themselves. I feel like there's still questions, right? There's still, like, if you go back and read this article we're talking about, again, I really encourage you to go to Ecom Crew and read the full blog article and read all the different things that they talk about in there. Some things they spell out very, very clearly. What is a two-step URL? What is manipulating traffic?
It's a treasure hunt.
What is a treasure hunt? And they make it very clear. Some things are a little ambiguous, and so it's whatever. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that they're just like they did when with the review stuff. Back in 2018, I believe it was. They didn't do that retroactive. It was moving forward. You can't continue this practice.
Yeah.
And people who did got their accounts suspended. People who stopped. We stopped immediately the day that came out. It changed our lives for the worse because it was so much easier to launch products before that. But we stopped immediately. And never had a problem. So I would venture to guess it's going to be a similar thing where it's okay. We've warned you. If you're stupid enough to continue to do this, then we're going to ban you. And I think that there will be bans. I do think that people will continue to do it. Mm-hmm. They're going to think that, I'm not going to use Rebate Cam. I'm going to use some private Facebook group, or I'm going to go do it in some other fashion that makes it less obvious. But less obvious isn't not obvious. And as you said, when you look at all the data that Amazon's collecting and all the different data points that they have, it's very, very difficult to manipulate things and not have it very quickly fall outside the norm, right? If you're normally selling 20 of a widget a day and all of a sudden now you're selling 5 extra through some sort of rebate, and all of those things fit some other pattern that's different than what's normal, 20% of your sales, 25% of your sales are now coming from this odd manner. And that's probably 25x what normally would happen. And so it's again, from standard deviation to norm perspective, it'd be like hitting the Powerball 6 days in a row. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. That can actually happen, but it's not going to happen. Right? It's it's not going to happen. It can't actually happen, even though it can happen, right? It's the same type of thing. And so when you start having a profile of things that are okay, is it possible that someone came through this, these different ways and found these products, and Amazon, has all this data? Yeah, it's possible, but it's not possible. And they're going to use that type of data to do things about this. And again, just be really careful, because without realizing it, you can be creating the Charlie Brown, what was that guy's name? Pigpen effect or whatever. You have this cloud falling behind you. It's kind of like Dave when he travels and stays with us. There's just a storm of crap left everywhere. Underwear over here, toothbrushes over here, whatever it might be. And so you don't want to do that to your Amazon account.
Well, yeah. Well, let's not get into my travel habits.
I did give you a pillow this last time, though.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Mike is a good host when he's in his own house, but traveling outside of his own home, watch out.
Even in California, you got pillows.
That is true.
I gave up pillows just for you.
That's true. I slept on the couch, but I got pillows.
Yeah.
About the suspensions, though, here's my thing. I agree with you. But if they are going to come, Amazon has a habit of year after year after year, when they do suspension sweeps, they almost always occur around the holidays. And so if they're going to occur, they are going to occur before Christmas. So
I agree. I do think that's true. And honestly, my rear end is clinched very, very hard because of this. Because we have not done anything at any wide scale. I think that, but like we have done Rebate Key. We talked about it pretty publicly. I mean, I wasn't really doing it from a manipulation standpoint in the same way, but certainly, I guess at some level, like we did want to get exposure for our products and see what people are saying about them, and hope that people would talk about them, et cetera, all the things that you would do with rebates. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, but we've done it is such a small percentage that I hope that we're okay. But again, I'm still kind of holding my breath. I mean, it's not even just from Rebate Key. It's just you hold your breath. Who knows what kind of crazy things they've done? Like in the past, it's been like all of a sudden they have like a new policy for toys and games, and we were in that category. And, like they tell you like on November 15th that that there's going to be some new policy. So I mean, it's just crazy, how they do this at the worst time of the year. But I don't know what their objective is there. But I do agree. I think that if it's coming, it's probably coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, because I'm sure a good percentage of the people listening to this have probably used Rebate Key, and that's hopefully a good reason why they couldn't do it, because it would be such a massive account suspension sweep. It probably would be the biggest one on record for them. So I think that's hopefully some good indication that they're not going to go back in time and ban people who have used it in the past.
You're talking about tens of thousands of sellers that have used Rebate Key and other platforms.
Although those 9-figure Chinese sellers who got banned permanently would argue, hey, Amazon doesn't care how big you are or how many of you there are.
Yeah, I mean, those guys were, again, they're just outside the boundaries, right? It's just like, it's so, like what they were doing is so ridiculous on such a large scale.